Many things can be considered beautiful. Nature, music, people, they can all be lumped under the same umbrella. The umbrella that keeps us dry on those wet, dreary days. Art. Art has been with humanity for as long as humanity has been human. That is to say, a very long time. Art has been ingrained in our society. Some make the argument that art helped distinguish us from the animals that surround us. Some may say that art isn't important to us at all. I'm not here to make an argument one way or the other. I just want to talk about a game that I played. A game that touched a chord in me. That game is Firewatch. Firewatch is beautiful. Not just graphically, but beautiful in an unconventional way. You play as the schlubby Henry M., a self-admitted slob. No real redeeming qualities at all. You are joined in your adventure by the ever-present Delilah, a voice that talks to you over the radio, a face that you never see, a new friend. Through your time with Firewatch, you will grow to like both Henry and Delilah. They'll be the only two voices you hear for the next 6 hours. Firewatch touches upon the ugly truths of life. Nobody can live forever. Everybody has grief. Nobody knows how to deal with that grief. Henry and Delilah chose to run away from their problems. In the process, they met each other. Two broken people finding solace in their kinship. It doesn't take long for them to get friendly. A joke here, an insult there. Occasionally, they might even flirt. There's just one issue. Henry is married. His wife has come down with dementia. He ran away from that problem. Henry took a job as a fire lookout. A lonely job. A job with a lot of time for thinking. It's here that he met Delilah. She is the lookout in the next sector from Henry. With her help, Henry begins to piece himself back together. It is by no means a short affair. Henry came to the Wyoming wilderness to escape. That's the other core part of this game. Escapism. Every character in Firewatch is escaping from something. Henry has the unfathomable task of taking care of his wife. He also carries the guilt of running away from her. Delilah deals with never knowing the fate of a child that went missing. Yet there can still be beauty taken from their stories. The beauty of their pain. The beauty of how they came together to heal. The beauty of their friendship. Firewatch isn't all introspection and sadness, however. It also tells a wild tale. A tale of spies, setups, and sabotage. It isn't long after you start working at the fire lookout that you begin to notice things that are off. Stolen sheets, a wrecked campsite, a stranger. Before long, Delilah begins to tell you that she sees someone in your watchtower. Together, Henry and Delilah attempt to unravel what they think is a conspiracy set up to frame them. Things are not as they seem here in the forest. Exploring the vast world of Firewatch in VR was an experience that I would not trade for the world. I truly felt like I was in the woods alongside Henry. The visuals are simply astounding. Playing in VR was like taking a camping trip that never ended. Finally, after beating the game, I unlocked free roam. I can wander wherever my heart desires. I find myself putting on my headset and walking around whenever I have a spare moment or two. There's a strange, comforting sensation that comes with wandering without a purpose. Firewatch was made to feed that sensation. The entire game brings you to different locales with different feelings to them. One trail leads you to a serene lake with a stream that feeds it with frigid water coming from snowmelt traveling down from the mountains surrounding you. If you follow that stream, it leads you through a canyon that thousands of years of water and melting ice carved from solid stone. Everything just fits together in this slice of Wyoming. The forest around you is alive. The sun shoots rays through the canopy of leaves above you. The morning mist hangs just above the ground, covering the land in a shimmering blanket. I feel as if I could get lost in these trees forever. There are so many tiny details. Short trails that have been blazed by countless people. Logs that have been stripped bare by people climbing over them. The world of Firewatch is alive and was made to get you lost. It's very easy to forget how beautiful the world you inhabit in this game really is when you play it on your monitor. You simply cannot make that same mistake when wandering the landscape in VR. The world reminds you constantly about its majesty. Birds chirping overhead, crickets buzzing, trees creaking ominously. Everything in the world of Firewatch serves to immerse you in the forest where you and Henry will be living for the next 3 months. A later portion of the game takes place after a disaster. Everything that you've come to know and love has been turned upside down. Suddenly, the lush green woods are barren and red. The sky is filled with smoke. The animals and insects have left. You are surrounded by silence. Firewatch had built such a beautiful world just to snatch it from you in the blink of an eye. Suddenly, your adventures through the woods no longer have a nice undertone. The world takes on a sinister feeling. A feeling that remains with you until the end. The music of Firewatch is wonderful and calming. Even while I write this script, I can't help but listen to the soundtrack over and over. It immediately transports me back to when I was playing the game. According to game designer and composer Chris Remo, the musical style of the game was meant to represent how insignificant any one person is when compared to the vast majesty of the forest. Stepping foot for the first time out of my lookout tower, I felt the weight of the world around me. I saw how tall the trees are, how absolutely enormous the rock formations can be. Firewatch's soundtrack is very minimal. It starts with a lone piano plucking individual notes. Before long, a guitar is introduced. Each instrument is capable of creating beautiful music on its own, and yet, when combined, they create a wonderful orchestra. The music of Firewatch is just like living on planet Earth. You play a small, insignificant role in the grand scheme of things, and yet still you persist. Much like the guitar or the piano, you're part of something much larger than yourself. The soundtrack for Firewatch made me feel minuscule, but I don't think that's a bad thing. Feeling like one small part in the whole of the world is, in my opinion, one of the major points of Firewatch. In the grand scheme of things, Henry and Delilah don't matter one bit. Even their job, which is looking out for fires, is more of a formality. When a fire breaks out, it is far beyond their control. Their efforts are pointless. The world of Firewatch is beautiful and realized. The skies are a crisp blue, with clouds that break up the endless expanse. The forests are alive with birdsong, insects, and animals. The isolation you feel is real, but it's also oddly comforting. I have a confession to make. I had never played Firewatch before making this video. Maybe some part of me was waiting for the right time. Well, on July 5th, 2021, that moment arrived. Two Forks VR, the next mod by the legendary Raiku Parda, creator of Nomai VR, was released. Putting on my headset, I entered the beautiful, yet somber world of Firewatch. From the very start, I was enthralled. Within minutes, I was pulled into the game, hopping out of my red pickup truck, grabbing my backpack, and heading into the forest. Seeing the sunlight stream through the canopy of greenery above me, coming face to face with a skittish deer that bounded away as soon as I came close, I knew that this would be an experience unlike any other. I could not have been more right. Firewatch in VR is truly a spectacle that needs to be experienced for yourself. A game like this is something exceedingly rare. Played without VR, it is a beautiful, captivating game. Played with VR, it's much more than just a game. It becomes a story that you witness, a story that could not be told through any other medium. In my humble opinion, Firewatch could not be a successful story if it were told in any other way. Firewatch can only be experienced as a video game. Firewatch is art, a new kind of art that only now can be recognized. For For as long as video games have existed, people have asked the question of whether or not they could be considered art. After playing through Firewatch in VR, the answer could not be any clearer to me. Thanks for watching.
I'm headed off to Ocean Shawnee, where the birds and the bees won't know me. Man and war won't exist no more, and there ain't no gals to keep no score. I'm taking off for the woods, to a place where there ain't no shirts. Don't need no books or ponds or the ponderosas. Don't need no lady or marry the Mariposas. Can't waste no time in getting there. I'll do 80 down, 80